from Git clone to a first test, how long should that take with a Scaffold?
If there's no need of big tweaks or just no tweaks at all, it's going to take few hours, let's say few hours. And depends on the test. If you want just to assert that the homepage is visible, it's going to take 10 minutes, but it is what it is. Different scenarios, different cases.
Welcome to ArchQA Unscripted. In this podcast, we bring you conversations with the engineers behind real quality engineering. Let's dive into the world of quality engineering.
Last episode, we built a good framework around 4 pillars. In this one, we will turn that work into leverage for the whole team. By bringing the Scaffold to every new project, you make the setup instant and let Playwright do the heavy lifting the same way for everyone. You build it once and nobody pays the cost again. I believe that a good framework should be built from scratch only once. What are your thoughts on that, and what are the solutions, Stefan?
Yeah, definitely. In my experience, when I started building my own frameworks, I've always remembered things in my head, the tribal knowledge that we spoke about earlier, and things were messy. I always forget something which I needed to remember the next days and re-implement. And every single time that I was starting a new project, it took me like a week or two just to set every single rule that we spoke already. And that's not great. We can just create one scaffold, put our rules there, put our architecture there, and maintain it. And remember that word, maintain your scaffold, because new technologies arise, libraries change, better practices arise. You just need to keep in touch with the latest best practices and update your scaffold so you can reuse it in the future projects.
Yeah, so we can think about the Scaffold as a standards, as a product, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds great, but every project is actually different. Won't a Scaffold force the wrong shape onto a brand new application?
Yeah, that's correct. Different domains, different projects, they require different stuff. But in the end, you have one scaffold that just lays the architecture. You can always tweak things specifically to your project or to your domain. And that's how you do it. There's no need to use 100% of your scaffold. You can use, for example, 90% and tweak the other 10 just accordingly to your needs. And that's just saves a lot of time for you. Won't build your framework for 2 weeks. It's going to take days or even less than a day.
So there is something very important that probably interests many people. From Git clone to a first test, how long should that take with a Scaffold?
Well, like we mentioned, it again depends on the domain. If you need to tweak things, it's going to take days, maybe less than a day. If there's no need of big tweaks or just no tweaks at all, it's going to take few hours, let's say few hours. And depends on the test. If you want just to assert that the homepage is visible, it's going to take 10 minutes, but it is what it is. Different scenarios, different cases.
Yeah, absolutely. So beyond the speed, what's the real win is here?
Beyond the speed, the real win here is first that the scaffold needs to be done beforehand, and you can use it in future projects. Also, when you set it up, it needs to be set by one person, not by the whole team. So that's something that saves a lot of engineering time. And after that, when it's done, when the QA engineers start writing tests themselves, they don't need to care about the setting of the whole testing framework. They mainly care about writing test scripts and checking for bugs, which ideally is preferable to the business.
Yeah, that sounds very, very good, and that was my intention when I started building such scaffolds. But can you walk me through what the team actually gets instantly?
Yeah, it gets the rules. That's one of the things. It gets all of the different models that you can use, all of the single source of truth that you need to remove and put your own for the specific project. But it's laid there. You just tweak it to your needs, and that's quite fast to do so. So especially nowadays with AI, that's really fast to do. and that's great. You just start writing the tests and bring value to the business pretty fast. Not like back in the days that it took weeks to do so.
Yeah, you have configuration, single source of truth, design patterns, all the abstraction that you can use in your testing, and of course all the enforcement of the rules, which is great because this alone can take you a day or two.
Absolutely.
I have one last question: how someone should treat a scaffold?
Oh, we've briefed on that a little bit earlier. We should treat it like it's something good, that's something that saves us time, but it's also not sacred. It needs to be changed, it needs to be modified, it needs to be updated accordingly to your needs or to the new best practices that arise or the technologies that come. And that's how you treat it. You update it, and this is your best friend, best colleague.
Yeah, I'm actually asking you this question because it's super important for everyone to understand that a scaffold is just a template. You can get it, modify it, tweak it based on your needs, and you can actually additionally extend it if this is what you need. But the important part is that you have already set the best practice.
Yeah, definitely. You don't need to just download someone else's scaffold and copy paste without understanding it and without changing it to your needs. So never do that. You need to understand stuff before doing them. So yeah, maybe you're not using your own scaffold. Maybe you can get someone else's scaffold or use someone else's scaffold. That's perfectly fine, but you need to understand it. And of course, if you're not happy with something, you can always speak with the person that made it and just put a point there, and maybe you're gonna speak. Maybe he's going to say his point of view. You're gonna say your point of view, and in the end, maybe your point of view is better. Maybe his point of view is better. Who knows? But if you're not happy with something, you need to speak it out loud, and in the end, maybe both can have a better solution for that part. Maybe it's not the solution that is already used, not the solution that was proposed. Maybe it was a third solution. That's why discussions needs to be started.
Yeah, the complete engineering is actually playing with pros and cons, so it
Yeah,
is quite
definitely.
normal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always trade-offs, and you need to be happy with those trade-offs.
In this episode, we turned the framework into a reusable scaffold, which means we turned your standards into a product. You have to answer the question, where does this go, just once? By doing that, you hand every new project production-grade Playwright architecture that closes the series. Across 4 episodes with Stefan, we went from what test architecture is, to the bad architecture costs, to walking a good one on screen, and finally, the carrying it into every project you ever start. Stefan, thank you very much for that. This started as a framework we built together, and now it is something everyone can carry into their own work. Stefan's LinkedIn is into the description. I can highly recommend it to follow him. Stay tuned for the next guest, but also don't hesitate to tell me who you want in this chair next, and on what topic, of course. That's how the next conversations get made. See you then. Cheers.